We will wait for the participants to join, madam.
No problem.
Ma'am, we are starting the event, ma'am.
Okay.
Happy evening to all of you. Welcome to today's meeting on Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. We have with us CAS Anita ma'am. On behalf of SIRC of ICAI, we welcome you, ma'am, for today's program. Let's start today's program with the invocation of ICAI motto song as a mark of respect to our mother institute.
येष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति येष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you. Before I leave the screen space to Anita ma'am, let me introduce her. CAS Anita is a fellow member of our institute. She is an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, associate member of the Institute of Cost and Works Accountants of India. She also holds diploma in Information System Audit, certified Information System Auditor, certified ethical hacker, master of law from Madras University, insolvency professional, registered valuer, completed the certified course on fraud accounting and fraud detection by ICAI, cleared the independent director exam. She is also a bachelor of mathematics from University of Madras, master of finance from the Indian Institute of Finance. She possesses 2 decades of experience as an auditor, executes the job of various audits and attestation service, both in India and abroad. Having in-depth knowledge and experience in income tax law and practice, done various audit for banks, statutory, revenue, stock, and other audits. Done review and viability audit assignment for CPE on 6 SSI units for about 200 units in Tamil Nadu. A big round of applause for that. Having in-depth knowledge and experience in company law and practice, handled audit of wide range of enterprises from individuals to corporate, including HUFs and a trust, including the advisory services, handled rights issue and offer for sale, hands-on experience in system audit and configuration management audit, currently faculty of a CA and CS Institute on imparting knowledge in Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Currently faculty member of CA, CS and CWA Institute on imparting knowledge in valuation as well. Advising insolvency professionals on filing and presentation before NCLT and NCLAT, and currently doing assignment as resolution professional and liquidator. With this brief, I present before you CA Anita ma'am to handle today's session on Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Over to you, madam.
Thank you very much for your nice introduction. Thank you. Is my screen audible?
Yeah, visible, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Friends, this insolvency and bankruptcy, if you look into it, now it is the need of the hour. Lot of people are doing insolvency and they want to become insolvency professionals. So basically, I would appreciate how many people have completed insolvency or how many wanted to do it. If you write in chat box, accordingly, I will give you the knowledge on insolvency and also opportunities or other various positions. So I appreciate if you could write to me on a chat box what exactly you expect out of me. Why I say these questions to you is like, according to your need, I can definitely present various things to you. It will be useful for you. And this 2 hours you are going to spend with me, I want everybody should have some takeaways from me. And if I can do, everybody can do this job. So just write it on a chat box. What exactly you want about insolvency? Like, do you want an introduction? Do you want opportunities? Whatever this thing, please write on your chat box. I'll just look into it.
Yeah, members, this is a good opportunity. If you are having any specific requirement that Anita ma'am needs to brief on it, you can put in the chat box, ma'am. Or else you can raise your hand so that our technical team will unmute you so that you can directly ask the question to Anita ma'am. Please type in your requirement in chat box. Or else you can also use Q&A option. Already more than 30 to 34 participants have joined. Any requirement, anything? Yeah, Alvin has raised his hand. Alvin. Adam, you please unmute him. Alvin.
Okay, sir.
Alvin, sir, you can unmute and speak. Jagan Koliyam has also raised his hand. Jagan Koliyalam.
Yes, sir, you can ask your question.
Sir, you can unmute and ask question.
Okay.
Yeah, you're audible, sir. Please proceed. Jagan, sir, you can ask.
Madam, kindly explain the entire thing because we are not at all aware of what is how it happens, no? The insolvency and the...
I'll do that. Not a problem.
Oh, that's good. Madam, there are
My chat box is
yes, sir, chat box. Yeah, Mahendra H and company, he said, Madam, I need basics of insolvency course, introduction, exam procedures, opportunities. I am planning to join this course. Then another query from Thirumal. He want to clear exam. Please give your input for case studies preparation.
Okay.
Everybody is asking from exam point of view.
Okay. What I will do is, friends, first, I'll give you very brief on insolvency and I'll just go to the case studies because people who have already read this, they should understand what is a case study. Then I will come back and give you a complete picture of insolvency and bankruptcy code, opportunities and other things. Okay. What I have going to do is a simple task. Okay. So before getting into the complete code, I would like to tell you for the people who are going to write the examination. Okay. People who are going to write the examinations, about, if I'm right, 85 marks directly coming from IBC. Basically, if I'm right, 4 marks from the Act, 6 marks from the rules, and 10 marks, if I'm right, it is going to come from case laws, and balance marks 70, something of that sort. Okay, 70, 10, 80, 90. Okay, it's going to come from case studies. The possible, you are supposed to concentrate on case studies. PPIRP, pre-packaged insolvency resolution process, 8 marks. If you are going to read rules, sections, and also regulations, you will straight away get it because there are no case laws. You are supposed to present, read thoroughly. You should know what is a rule, who can apply for PPIRP. For example, any debt more than 10 lakhs, and it should be an MSME. They should give an affidavit by the majority of the directors, and also within 90 days, they are supposed to present it before the NCLT. And this base resolution plan should be approved by the unrelated financial creditors, and there should not be any kind of a avoidance transaction. Affidavit should be given. So fundamentally, you should know 54 section A to 54 section O. Every area, if you apply your mind, it's very easy. Okay, go by concept. Don't go or do something like mugging up kind of a thing will never work out. You have to go by concept. Concept in the sense, every process you should be thorough. For example, PPIRP, if you want to file an application, you should be eligible. Once you are eligible for preparing information, preliminary information memorandum, or preparing, say, something like base resolution plan, something like list of creditors, everything you require an insolvency professional to assist you. Then once the insolvency professional is going to assist you, this is called pre-packaged IRP. Once you are making an application, then definitely there are something called duties. Then there is something called declaration of moratorium, public announcement. So stage by stage, if you understand the process, it's easy. PPIRP 8 marks is easy. CIRP and liquidation 10 plus 10, 20 marks. Friends, this is little bit tricky unless and until you understand, you read section and regulation together, you will not be able to do anything. And some of the case laws say, if recent case laws like, if there is a resolution plan which is going to be approved, PF should be provided 100%. This has come out from Jet Airways case law. And if there are government creditors, then government creditors should be treated as the secured creditor as per the rainbow judgment. So you should know latest judgment to some extent. And these things will come only in case studies. Lot of things are very, very easy if you understand the concept. What will you do when you are going to be in that position? Just think practically, apply it. Case studies will be easy. But few things you are supposed to understand, okay, is certainly important. If you look into CIRP process, okay, how will you do a CIRP process? The first thing you should understand the duties of the IRP, duties in the sense not section 18. What I mean by duties is like what process comes first, what process comes second. Say for example, section 14 talks about moratorium. During moratorium, even if the company's assets, company's bank account are standard, during moratorium, you cannot pay the interest to the bank. All will be stalled. Over and above, if you are going to pay, you will be penalized. These kind of areas, little bit sensitive areas, you should try to understand. And during the period of CIRP, an asset, a banker is doing an assignment to a third party. Could be an ARC. What are the procedure you are supposed to follow? Regulation 28 specifically talks about it. There will be one question from this area. Regulation 28 and 29 of CIRP process, certainly they will ask you a question. And there are a lot of questions in respect of the section 31, which says the AAA should satisfy with the plan. But AAA has to satisfy, and his role is only he has to see 30 subsection 2, which says that there should not be any contravention of law by the resolution applicant. Okay, that is the only area AA can do that. All otherwise, it is the commercial wisdom of the COC. Friends, other friends, don't worry. I will explain you what is COC, what are the other things. This is only for the people who are very particular, who are going to write the examination. Okay, that area you should be very clear. Okay, if you look into the syllabus on case studies, if you are thorough with the section and regulation, some of the latest case laws. See, our institute has come up with the material with the case laws related. So if you read it, first thing, you should be capable of having your own process chart, and wherever you have a doubt, you have to link with the particular section. Say, for example, 32A, which is very specific provision in CIRP, which talks about if a past liability will not fall on the resolution applicant, which is basically so many case laws. One of the case law is very famous case law in respect of the Tata Steel. When Tata Steel took over Bhushan Steels, PMLA authorities entered in, they have issued the orders, and at that time the resolution plan was over. The PMLA, whether they have an authority to penalize the CD was the question. It has been categorically said no. The adjudicating authority very clearly said it is not possible, because there is something called this cannot come. If it is going to be there, then no resolution is possible. So anything after the resolution plan, no PMLA or any authority can file case against the new management. You can very well go behind the old management, and whatever the past liabilities, they are held responsible. See, each section, there will be some kind of a court ruling. That is why the section has come. You would have read definitely BK educational system, the limitation 238A, which has come after this BK educational system. See, if you look into each area, ABC, if it is going to come, it is a new insertion because of the Supreme Court case laws. Okay, so those areas you should be thorough. There are, say, 20, if I remember correctly, 27 cases in Supreme Court. There are cases around 70 in NCLT, NCL 80, 7 or 9 in NCLT, High Court again 7 or 9. So all these case laws, if you are going to read it, you will get a fantastic idea, and you have to relate 60% of it with your case studies. So you cannot escape. Basically, what happens is the killer part is, even if you do a wrong answer, losing 1 mark will not hurt you. Where it hurts is they will take away 0.25 from your correct answer. See, I know a lot of people who have failed in the examination. They have cleared the examination. Unfortunately, because of the negative marking, they have failed in the examination. So you should be very careful. If you do not know the answer, leave it. Okay. Lot of questions you do not know, don't worry. Read all the questions, memorize all the questions, come out, write it down. Next time this will help you. Don't worry about the results. This is basically a performance. The performance should be very clear on all the aspects. Basically, you have to, if at all you are going to understand the concept of every area, then it is going to be very good. Okay. So if you want to ask me any specific question on any area, first I would like to answer you, then I would like to give everybody about the introduction, opportunity and applications. Is there any other question, any member who are going to write? Because I know pretty well you are supposed to complete on or before 30th, at least one attempt, so that if you are missing out, you are eligible to write in 30th, on or before 30th of June. So any questions, friends, who are going to write now, please ask me. First, I want to answer you, then I will go to the fundamentals. You can write it in a chat box, or you can raise your hand so that I will, the institute will give you a clarity on this, because I feel people who are writing this examination should first understand how to write the examination. Then people who wanted to write, I will also tell them how to prepare and do it. Any questions?
Madam is presently focusing on people who are appearing for exams, giving inputs. Madam, this is a common question in every program. Will you share the PPT?
There is nothing in the PPT. I will 100% share. Don't worry.
Sure.
You are not going to get any kind of a knowledge in PPT. I'll tell you, I have taken out this PPT only from our institute. It is not my property. So I have already stole from the institute, which I will share it with you. Don't worry.
Sukumar sir, no worries. Madam will be sharing the PPT.
100% I will share it with him, because he will not understand anything in this. I'm going to talk other than this. Any question or anybody raise their hand?
No, ma'am.
Okay. How many of you are planning to write the examination now? Okay. If, sir, I will tell you, basically this one area, I have a decent knowledge. So feel free. I am not going to find fault with you, because I know I have also faced some difficulties on this particular, general, any kind of a work, because there will be a hesitation from our side, which will certainly give us some kind of apprehension whether I can talk to the speaker, kind of this thing. Don't worry about anything. I am not that kind of a speaker. What I know, I want to share it with everybody, because nobody is other person's competitor. So if you want to ask, I'll give you 5 minutes or 3 minutes time. If somebody wanted to ask me any kind of a question, it's okay. Otherwise, I'll straight away get into the topic.
Apart from Thirumal, who are all writing their exams? Thirumal said he is planning to write the exam. Apart from Thirumal, they can type in the chat box or Q&A option.
Okay. Please open up for Mr. Jagan.
Yeah. Relevant, please unmute Jagan.
Yes, sir.
Madam,
Yes,
the
sir.
difference between insolvency and bankruptcy, please, the basics.
Okay.
What is the difference between insolvency and bankruptcy?
Sir, insolvency is a temporary affair, sir. And second, insolvency, we always used to relate with the corporate. Okay, bankruptcy, we always relate with an individual. Okay, the bankruptcy, as far as the insolvency and bankruptcy code is concerned, insolvency comes with the corporate and LLP. Bankruptcy comes with the individual and partnership firm. That is how they are distinguishing these things. But if you are going to ask me, general parlance, other than India, all other areas, they will say only bankruptcy. In India, we call insolvency is a temporary period. Bankruptcy is a permanent one, and it is applicable to individuals.
Thank you, madam.
So if there is no question, then I would like to go to the fundamentals so that people can understand everything. Okay, now see, there is something I have taken down 72 slides, but I am not interested to teach you 72 slides. There is no material available for case studies, sir. See, case studies basically, today's position, I will share it with you, sir. Case studies, see, till last year, a lot of people were writing. Now they have restricted, you can write it only 6 times a year. We do not know what is actually the questions are coming in. But some of my friends are writing day after tomorrow. Anyhow, I'll give my number. You can ask me independently. If whatever about the case studies, I will share it if somebody is going to write in the forthcoming period. Okay. So that is the thing. So this particular, I would like to take a class in a different fashion. This everything I will share it with you. So if people, if you are interested, take a pen and paper, because I am a person who is interested to write and teach you. Okay, that is my method. So basically IBC, it goes with, pardon my writing. So, but you can understand my writing little bit. That's not going to be a problem. IBC goes with default as per 3 subsection 12. Okay, it is 3 subsection 12. Okay, let's go to the slide. I will first tell you certain areas. Don't worry, these things are only give you a clarity. Okay, I'll straight away go to certain areas so that you will be able to understand easily. I can explain to you certain basic concept. If you understand, then it is easy. So if you look into core concept, the first concept you should know is default. Okay, the second concept you should know is debt. The third concept you should know is a claim. Okay, this is also important. Okay, so let's go to the main area. Okay, I'll go to the first. Okay, this is basically section 3, wrongly written at 5. Okay, default means non-payment of debt, whole or in part. Okay, so there is another concept. There is a person who has supplied goods or who has done some services, who has given the loan, but that loan is due and not payable, and it becomes due and payable and he has not paid it, then it's called a default. Now, since I used debt, you should know what is debt. Okay, debt means liability or obligation in respect of a claim, which is due from a person, include financial debt and operational debt. Don't worry about it. So what is default? Default is a non-payment of debt, either in whole or in part. What is a debt? Debt is a liability or obligation in respect of a claim. So what is a claim? The claim very clearly says right to payment. Whether or not such right is reduced to payment. And right to liability or breach of contract and any other law. Okay, so there is a default, which means they have not paid me money, and because of the default, I have a problem. So my debt, I am not receiving it. Accordingly, I need money from that particular corporate debtor. And how do I get it? There is a default occur. So on question of default, a financial creditor can apply, or an operational creditor can apply, or a corporate debtor can apply. Here we will not use the terminology called as a corporate debtor. Company, we will use only as a terminology as a corporate debtor. See, if you recall, in our old law, binding up section of the Companies Act, there is something called the debts unable to pay the debts. That has been removed now. Still it is there. But what is exactly it says is, if some company wanted to file a winding up, not voluntary, winding up, they have to come through only IBC. This is what they say. Okay, I'll stop here. Now I will tell you the opportunities of the CA. We will go in a different direction. So, okay, now you have your client and you are looking and finalizing your balance sheet, and that particular client has supplied goods to another person, and the outstanding due once while you are signing is very alarming. Say it could be 1 crore or more than 1 crore. You are interacting with the client. You are asking him, he has not paid you. Why you have not filed a case? Either he may be ignorant. Now there is an opportunity. You can educate your client to file an application because he has not received the money. The default has occurred. So the opportunity, educating the client, and you yourself being a chartered accountant, you are eligible to present it before. Here the forum of default application should be filed before NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. Okay, so you can ask your client. Accordingly, you can prepare an application. You can represent before NCLT. You can very well explain with the evidences. You can file it before NCLT regarding the default of the other person. The section very clearly says, if there is a default and debt due and you are right to claim, you can file an application before NCLT, which is coming under adjudicating authority rules. What it says, if you are a financial creditor, okay, who is a financial creditor is defined under section 5 subsection 7, along with the what is a financial debt, which is given in 5 subsection 8. Okay, everybody is completely aware who is a financial creditor. A financial creditor is a person, okay, whom the financial debt is due. Now, there is one more terminology which is coming in your way. What is a financial debt? Okay, the financial debt is nothing but, there are 3 things in financial debt. Number 1, it talks about disbursement of funds. And the funds should have a time value of money. Third, there are conditions given. Any one of the conditions should have been fulfilled. Like, the bank is dispersing a loan to a company, otherwise called as a corporate debtor, and bank disperse the loan, and the loan, definitely the bank is going to charge an interest element, and the corporate debtor is supposed to pay the money along with the interest to the bank as per their sanction letter, and you are supposed to do it accordingly. If you look into it, if the company fails to do that, see, one is like as a CARO report, if the company is coming under CARO, we are supposed to report it very clearly. The company defaulted in payment while paying the appropriate dues to the bank, wherein we are also mentioning. See, one more this thing, friends, I'll tell you. See, I am not a great chartered accountant kind of this. I'm also one among you. But after becoming an insolvency professional and continuously doing a lot of resolution cases, I was able to read the auditor's balance sheet. Friends, very sorry to tell you, 60 to 70% of the audit report, whatever I've seen in the span of 5 years, it is only a cut-paste copy. And none of the auditors are applied their mind, because as long as the company is going good, there is no problem at all. The moment company is not going good, you will be the first person to be targeted. 2 things. Now, our institute has come out with a peer review. So people are now taking it seriously. And also, if you are not doing anything properly, like no proper disclosures, if you are not going to do that, proper adjustments, proper qualification, if you are not going to do that, there is a chance that you will also be penalized by the NCLT. People are now very serious. They are asking why, whether the auditors are given any kind of a qualification. In one or two cases, I'll tell you, when I look into the auditor's balance sheet, I told you already, I'm also one among you. I am not a great person to understand, but it is part of my job. I just looked into the auditor's report. One of the auditor's report, I have seen it. Caro report, he has written and put it tick, 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 kind of this thing. I was stunned. Point number one. Point number two, there is a profit in the company. He has declared as a loss in another report. Like, I used to see so much of discrepancies, cut paste copy problem in 60 to 70% of the audit reports, because the moment company get into default, whatever the documents available with the MCA, Ministry of Corporate Debtors, we will download. We will see that what is the last date of filing, who is the auditor, whether I know the auditor. If the corporate debtor is not going to cooperate, I should speak to the auditor, get the details. This is also my job as an insolvency professional. At that time, friends, very, very sorry to say this, you have to take all your corporate clients seriously, and before signing any report, you read it independently. And tomorrow you should not get into problem. It is not that other insolvency professionals going to comment you. It is unfortunate. You will not be able to explain because you have signed it. Your audit clerk would have done everything, but the responsibility lies with you. So care should be taken in that particular aspect. So coming back to our topic, financial creditor means any person who holds the financial debt. Financial debt means disbursement of funds. That fund should have a time value of money and other conditions, like they should have an interest, there should be a commercial borrowings, there should be a CC, the bank has given to you and they are going to collect the interest, kind of a various categories they have given. They have also defined operational creditor. It says simply operational debt is due. What is an operational debt? It is very simple. They have categorized only 4 category of people are operational creditors. One category who has provided goods and did the services. Second, the first category is supplier of good. The second category is who has done the services to the company. The third category is employees. The fourth category is central government, state government, which is basically taxation department, GST department, any department. If there is a due, they are eligible to become that will become an operational debt and they will become the operational creditor. So coming back to the first slide, there is a default. Initially at the time on 2016, default was only 1 lakh. So cases were slowly started, people are starting filing, and there are a lot of threats to insolvency professionals also, because the moment insolvency professionals are appointed by the court, the powers of the boards are suspended. So board cannot do anything. It is the insolvency professionals taking in line of that activity. They are supposed to do the entire thing. That's the first thing. Since nobody is completely aware and we are just barging into some office and going to say that, boss, you are not henceforth eligible to pass any check. All your checks will be bounced from today onwards. All your financials are going to be under my control. Yes, threat starts. We know initial level, lot of people, lot of insolvency professions are beaten up. They have been kept in the dark room. Today, there is a good knowledge about both the auditors. I mean, I know a lot of auditors are completely unaware of this insolvency. They are also advising initially a wrong advice. Today, everybody is almost 70% of the people are educated on this particular thing. Moment notice is going to come, they are completely aware to resolve the issue. See, what is there here? What is so special about insolvency? Basically, like you are certainly taking a dead company, going to give a life to it, provided the company should have a life in it. And you are trying to find out another issue is like if there is a siphoning of funds. If there is a siphoning of funds, definitely that particular promoter should be penalized. That's also important. Number 3, there is something like you will also have a satisfaction because you are bringing back something to the economy, which otherwise means like there is you are creating a growth in that particular area, employment in that area. and it requires a professional knowledge, professional expertise, and a kind of a handhold exercise. This is very important. Again, I would like to tell you how I can become an insolvency professional. The code regulation very clearly says a chartered accountant, a company secretary, cost accountant, advocate, having 10 years of experience. This experience is only on registration. You may be in employment or you may be in practice. It is only the date of enrollment till date you should have completed 10 years. And if you are not a professional, you can be a graduate with 15 years of managerial experience. If you have, you can write this examination. Writing this examination, any person can write. You will certainly get, if you go and write tomorrow, certainly you will get 45 marks to 50 marks. The pass mark is 60. That is the killing aspect. For getting that 60, as one of our friend asked about case studies, there's nothing. You are supposed to understand the concept every area. The concept is what is very important in this area. If you understand the concept, clearing examination is a cakewalk. But am I capable of doing it? Yes, you are capable of doing it. Only 3 areas you are supposed to concentrate. Have a small group. Discuss, because as a chartered accountant, we always been from the day one onwards, we always treat other chartered accountant as our competitors. After this insolvency has come into place, that concept has gone. There is a question of not I, it's a question of we, because this particular position gives you, you're a court officer. I'll tell one of my experience. I used to go to the income tax department as a chartered accountant, wherein you all know that you are supposed to sit outside. As and when he is going to call you, you are supposed to go and present the case, come back. This is a general position. And one of the case, I'm supposed to represent a corporate debtor wherein I have been appointed by the court. So I went inside the IRS room. I told her, I am a court officer. The moment I said court officer, they started respecting you. They started, you are one step above them. They know that they talk to you nicely. And also, it is also part of your duty, like you are a court officer, you are duty bound to do a compliance. You cannot escape from compliance, but duty bound to do a compliance. This gives you some kind of a leverage and satisfaction because you are going to resolve something. End of the day, in SARFASI, most of you understand, like banks without court intervention, take the property, sell it, adjust its account, come out comfortably. Here, it's not selling. It's a resolution process. We are just trying to find out one person who is willing to take over and run the company so that the economy will slowly improve. If it is a dead company, nothing can be done. If there is a life in the company, only there is a problem of working capital or some kind of issue where you can try to resolve. There are a lot of people who are going to come in and they are likely to take up the company, run it successfully. Yes, certainly there are a lot of haircuts is happening here, but that is the order of the day. You can't do anything because the loan would have been given to them. Vis-a-vis the revenue will never match. Sometimes what happens is like you are going with promoters are going with a different vision. If that vision is completely gone, automatically goes into insolvency. So fundamentally, please try to understand, this is basically a resolution process. You are giving a solution. You are not giving them or selling anything. The preamble of the entire IBC is like, I am supposed to bring a resolution. I am supposed to bring a maximization of the value of the assets of the CD. These are the basic level you should know. Okay. So if you look into certain areas, initially, if you look into it, it was always creditor, it was a debtor driven. See, basically the company will not give any of the assets to the bankers, even though SARFAESI has got a provision, they can take over the company, they can manage the company, they can run the company. So far, most of the cases, they will sell, get back the money, they'll move away. But IBC very, very clearly says, there is a resolution, you have to go by the resolution. And if no resolution crosses, then you can go into liquidation. That is what the IBC categorically says. So it is a seamless process. Okay, there is an occurrence of default. On the occurrence of default, you are making an application before the adjudicating authority. Here, NCLT, we call it as an adjudicating authority. And the moment this default is evidenced and proved, insolvency resolution process starts, which is for the period of 180 days. Moratorium. Why I require a moratorium is like it has to be resolved. If every day there is a fight, you can't do anything. You have to go ahead and do everything, which is a insolvency resolution process. Okay. What is the ultimate end of the insolvency resolution process? I should get the resolution. Okay, I didn't get the resolution. There is a failure of resolution. Automatically, liquidation process comes, which otherwise means I'm just going to sell the company and I'm going to sell it as a going concern. I can do it as sell it as a business, or I can do it as a parcel. I can do it as a slum sale. I can do it as a sale of any kind of a lot. I'm allowed to do it. So basically, it is a time-bound activity. 180 days, any insolvency professional, every day he has to do certain things as per the schedule given in the regulation. You cannot sit ideally. But if you ask me, like, am I supposed to do 8 hours job on IBC? No. If you are very systematic, 1 or 2 hours is sufficient, and you have to plan. Since you are going to lead the team, you are going to talk to various creditors, you are going to share the entire process, and you are going to take a decision. You should certainly develop your leadership quality, presentation quality, everything. And it automatically comes to you, because the moment you want to resolve something, this is the only way. And there is, end of the day, complete satisfaction is there. See, in this process, the opportunities of the chartered accountant is, first, he can educate his client. He can make him to file an application wherein you yourself can present as the representative of the client. Number 2, if you clear the examination, which is going to be conducted every month, but if you fail, you are allowed to write in the gap of 2 months. Like if you write it in April 30th, you are allowed to write on or before June 30th. Like, no, there should be a complete gap of 60 days. So only 6 times you are allowed to write. There IBBI, which is the main board for regulating all insolvency professionals, they are taking it very seriously, and they have brought out so much of regulations in this. And you can work as a resolution professional, insolvency professional. Insolvency professional, we call it as an interim resolution professional, whose period is 30 days. Resolution professional, balance period. Once the company goes into liquidation, you will be called as a liquidator. In respect of the individuals and partnership, which are yet to be notified. However, the personal guarantors of corporate debtor is already notified, wherein what happens is, like, you can be appointed as the resolution professional for the personal guarantors, and you will also be appointed as the bankruptcy trustee for the personal guarantors. If you ask me, am I have the opening in this field? There are huge openings, but openings comes with the responsibility, compliance, risk. Why I say all these things is, every day the court is giving with some kind of a judgment. If some judgment which is going to affect you, you should note it. You should comply with the judgment. Accordingly, you have to plan everything. So every day is a learning process. Point number 1. Number 2, people who are having some kind of a litigation mind. Litigation is not fight. Something to resolve. something they feel that they can give back to the society. If you have that kind, this is an excellent field. And third, the opportunities in this learning is phenomenally good. See, when I joined IBC, which was in 2016, I also one among the others. But since I have a passion and interest towards it, I'm seeing only opportunities. I'm not seeing any kind of a problem. You will certainly commit mistake, but every mistake is a learning for you. And if you are going to ask me opening, yes, plenty of opening. There is no competitors for you. The only thing is like here, you are supposed to completely continuously learn. There is no scope like relax, but enjoyable. See, why we have studied? We have studied, we are professionals who should be available 24/7, and any question, any time of crisis, you have to come forward and do it. And you will like to do this profession because, see, there is a case where 100% funds are being siphoned by the director's partnership company. There is a provision in IBC which very clearly says that you can bring back the money by filing an application. As a chartered accountant, see, when I wrote the examination, this 10 years of experience, I felt, why the hell they require? I have already done so much. Why should they ask for 10 years of experience? But I understood the moment you are going to chair the meeting, this experience will come to you. Whatever be the questions they are going to ask you during the meeting, you will be capable of answering without any emotional attachment. That is, I really appreciate. The second thing I appreciate, when I did this course, see, for me, when I cleared, there are only 4 regulations. Today, there are so much more than 19 regulations. You are supposed to read, you don't have a choice. What happens is, basically, these 4 regulations and a very small entire IBC, 255 sections, we read, we cleared everything. But every day, we always used to do the updation. The moment you are going to update yourself, naturally, your life is going to be very good. Third, the moment you are opening for learning, the scope will come to you. When I did my awardance application, see, awardance is nothing, but they have specifically said you are supposed to look into a preferential transaction. You are supposed to look into an undervalued transaction. You are supposed to look into a fraudulent transaction. You are supposed to look into an exorbitant transaction. These are the technical words, everything completely you are aware. As a chartered accountant, moment you enter into any company, 1 hour if they are going to give you the tally, or 1 hour if they are going to give you any software which they are using in accounts. Because of our experience, maximum 2 hours. We will be able to see that when the funds have become default, whether the funds have gone out of the company, is it a business failure or a personal failure? It is absolutely extremely good for chartered accountants who wanted to pursue in this profession, because that 10 years experience mold you in such a way that you will be able to find it out the forensic area. Again, being an insolvency professional, being a resolution professional, I need not do the forensic audit. I can ask my friend to complete the forensic audit. I can ask my friend to do a transaction audit. The opportunities, it is not that you should become an insolvency professional. You can service the insolvency professional under various ways. See, 70% of the cases, friends, I'll tell you, the moment company goes into SIRC, the auditor, since he is not going to get money, or rather company is not coming forward, there will be no filing of IT or ROC. So the moment you are going to take in charge, it is your duty with the 66% of majority of the committee of creditors, you have to appoint a statutory auditor. Otherwise, another chartered accountant. Again, you can ask your friend to do it. It is a vice versa help. He can become an insolvency professional, he can put me. I can become an insolvency professional, I can take his help. So technically, it is a team of friends. If you have a very good team of friends, all can share a job, take a reasonable money, enjoy your life. That is always possible. So Scope, if you are going to ask me, is plenty. But how to study for the examination, how I can do everything is basically, this is what is the structure of the code. The structure of the code is, okay, only 5 parts, 255 sections. Like income tax, there are so much of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H has come. Okay, and each section, definitely, if you are going to understand, not a big issue, it's only a small issue, but you should take it seriously. In every act, if you look into it, section 2 will be the definitions. Here, there are 3 definition clause. One is the basic definition. The second one is a definition related with the corporate debtor, which is a company. The third one, definition which relates with the individuals and partnership. So each area, there are definitions. So if you understand the definition, you can understand the process. Okay, and board, wherever we use the word board, Insolvency Bankruptcy Board of India is in fact regulating us. Agency is like our institute IPA, Insolvency Professional Agencies. Utilities is a new concept which has currently come in. Currently up and running only one unit which is running in Bangalore, wherein both financial creditor and operation creditor can file, and any contract, if there is a default, they can register that default in the information utility. Every act, there is something called miscellaneous provision. Total number of sections there in the code is only 255 sections. Technically, it is 284 sections because of ABCD and other things. But comparing with all other acts, looking into Income Tax Act or Companies Act, the sections are more. Especially Income Tax Act is also more or less nearing this. But ABCD, AA, BB, ABC, BBA, BBI, I'm sorry, very difficult. Whereas this is an interesting process. If you understand the process, it's very easy. Especially corporate debtor, which is notified. Individuals and partnerships are yet to be notified, which means there are so much of openings in this area. But if you ask, will I get a very good remuneration? Corporate data, yes. Possibility at least minimum of per case, average of ₹1 lakh per case. So at least that is permanent. Okay, if you're going to take, depends upon the corporate data, this 1 lakh may go up to 10 lakhs crore kind of a this thing. I think most of you are aware that big fours are charging a very huge amount, like 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs kind of a this thing. Individuals and partnerships, you are not going to be get it like that. But my understanding is like bank audit, again, they want to clean up the balance sheet. It will come as a bulk. It's not going to be a 1 case or 2 case. It's going to come as a bulk. If you ask me, there is a scope, extremely good scope. You can very well do it. You are not going to face any kind of a problem here. Okay. So, if you have any questions, you can ask me, or I would like to give you a complete background about CIRP process, which is currently going on. I told you very clearly about the opportunities. If you have any question, you can ask me so that I can explain to you in a better way. Friends, if somebody wanted to take up this course, they are very serious. I want to become an insolvency professional. First, shed away your inhibition. You are going to lead a team. You are going to talk to an outsiders. You are going to talk to various people. So, talking to a professional or talking to person like me, you are not going to lose anything. So any kind of a doubt you can ask me, but if you are attending for the sake of CPE, no problem. I'm not going to punish you by requesting you to ask you a question. But if anybody is serious to know about any process or anything of that sort, you can ask me now. Any clarification, any doubt? You can raise your hands, no problem. If anybody wanted to know any kind of a question, yes, please unmute Mr. Jagan. Sir? DLC SIRC, please unmute Mr. Jagan.
Yeah, I have done.
Sir, Mr. Jagan, you can ask me question if you have anything. Please unmute yourself and talk to me. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Madam?
sir.
Is this insolvency process applicable only to corporates right now, or is it applicable to partnerships and individuals also?
No, sir. It is not applicable to partnership and individuals. It is basically applicable only to corporates. Now they have notified personal guarantors of the corporate, which meaning if the directors who have given the guarantee, personal guarantee for the corporate data, in that area, the particular guarantor whose guarantee will be invoked and he will be, cases are running on personal guarantors also. But individuals and partnership are yet to be notified.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Since there's no question, I would like to, there is one process so that it will be easy for you to understand, because people who wanted to write, people who are going to write, they should know. So the in-between time, for your sake, I'm going to take only one process. It's easy for you. If you feel that this is good, then it will be helpful. Okay. So what is the first called process? Process is called CIRP process. Okay. I said default. If there is a default, they can file it before NCLT. Okay. Again, who are the people can file and before the NCLT? It is the financial creditor, it's an operational creditor, or a corporate debtor can file if the default amount is, initially it was 1 lakh. Because after COVID, there are so much of cases, the central government now increased the default amount to 1 crore and above. Today, any kind of a default which amount is due and payable, if it is more than 1 crore and above, they can file an application according to which category they are belonging before the NCLT. So for filing an application, if he is a financial creditor, he has to file in form number 1. All these things they have given a ready-made form wherein you have to fill in, you have to file. With the 25,000 rupees as the fees, and also form number 2, which is a consent letter. Consent letter means any insolvency professional who has cleared the examination, whose name is appearing in the IBBI, can give a form 2, which means I consent to act as an interim resolution professional, because here the bank is proposing somebody as an insolvency professional whose period is only interim. And all the evidences, he has to give the evidences. So, and financial creditor is filing an application in respect of the default in respective form number 1, along with the 25,000 rupees, with the form number 2, all are mandatory conditions with the evidences of default. It is the duty of the adjudicating authority to verify the application, and he has to look into only 3 aspects: whether the application is complete, there is a default, the proposed IRP, there is no disciplinary action against that proposed IRP. If all the 3 conditions are satisfied, it is the duty of the AA to order for a corporate insolvency resolution process. In the case of operational creditors, I told you, operational creditors are only 4 categories. One is who provides services, who supplies goods, who is an employee of the organization, and government dues. All the 4 people are coming under the net of operational creditors. In their case, what they are supposed to do is, before filing an application, they are supposed to issue in form number 3, demand notice, or form number 4, notice with invoices, to the registered office of the CD, and they have to wait for 10 days. Friends, for the operational creditor, there is one issue. If the operational creditor and corporate debtor have got some dispute, okay, your quality is not good, your service is insufficient, I'm unhappy with you. If there is any kind of a dispute, IBC is not the forum. They have to go to the civil court. This is a very, very clear, and it has gone up to the Supreme Court. Even if there is a plausible question of dispute, IBC will never entertain that kind of a operational creditor application. Okay, now there is no dispute, and this operational creditor wanted to file an application. He has to file in form number 5 after the expiry of 10 days. He has to file form number 5, 2,000 rupees he has to pay. And there is no requirement for him to appoint an insolvency professional. Generally, the board, the NCLT, after consulting with the board, they will appoint an insolvency professional whose name is appearing in the NCLT. Okay, the CD, who wants to wind up because he is unable to continue, the company is unable to pay the debts, he has to file in form number 6 with 25,000 rupees as the fees. And form number 2, he has to propose some insolvency professional as an interim insolvency professional with all evidences. Okay, if they are going to do it, it is the duty. Application is now filed before the NCLT. Now, it is the duty of the NCLT, that is the duty of the adjudicating authority. They have to review the application within 14 days and definitely accept or reject the application. Depends upon it, the criteria, mandatory areas they have mentioned. Say, for example, the application is incomplete. It is the duty of the AA to reject, but the rejection, the incomplete can be completed with the maximum of 7 days, and you can refile it before the NCLT. That is allowed. Okay, now the application is admitted. What happens in this case? Immediately, moratorium is declared for 180 days. What is moratorium? Moratorium is otherwise called as a calm period. What is a calm period? Calm period means that debtor, creditor, insolvency professional going to sit together, try to resolve the issue. What is that they are trying to resolve this issue is, okay, one second, just give me 1 minute. Okay, what they are trying to resolve this issue means the debtor should come out with a solution with the creditor so that this can be resolved. If the debtor is not coming with a solution, then the next step, how to move forward, will be discussed during this 180 days period. Okay, now the moment order is going to be passed, let us say it is a financial creditor's application, and financial creditor is proposing one person who was given in form 2 is called an interim resolution professional. That person will be appointed. The proposal is done by the financial creditors, appointment is done by the court. They are appointed, and it is the duty moment he is going to be appointed. Within 3 days, he is supposed to give the public announcement. What is the public announcement? The application till admission, it is personal. which otherwise meaning it is between the applicant and the corporate debtor. The moment admission is going to come, it is a rem, which means entire public, they have a right to file, entire stakeholders can file their claim. So calling for the claim, the public announcement is going to inform, friends, this company is currently under CIRP. As an insolvency professional, I am taking over. So any of your transactions with the CD, please submit your claims. This submission is going to take 14 days time. Submission of claims. The moment you are going to be appointed, the powers of the board is suspended. Friends, as per section 179 of the Companies Act, powers are defined. Only powers are suspended. Still, there are duty cast upon the directors, which is defined under section 166. He has to do his duty. Only he cannot take some certain kind of a borrowal, certain kind of adoption of financial accounts, certain kind of a duties which has been barred, which has to be taken only by the board. Now that has been barred. Okay, so 14 days submission of books. Now, since you are the person going to manage the affairs of the company, entire books, entire transaction, everything is under you. Now the books of the accounts are with you. So people have submitted the claims. Within 7 days, you are supposed to verify the claims. Which meaning, say, I am a creditor. I have supplied goods for 2 crores of rupees. Okay, so I file a claim as per the forms specified in IBC, and the claims is filed with the insolvency professional. He is called an interim insolvency professional. Interim resolution professional is going to look into my claim, and since the books are already under control, he is going to verify, reconcile my claim amount with the company's claim amount. There are only 3 scenarios possible. Scenario number 1, if you have given exorbitant, which is not there in the books, your claim to the extent not in the books will be rejected. Number 2, if you are going to give it along with the GRN number, all the evidences, the books will be admitted. Everything is going to be completely allowed. The third scenario, it is not at all there in the books. It is also duty of the IRP. Looking into the claims, they have to update in the books. All these things will be done the period of 7 days, because the submission is 14 days. After submission, 7 days time is there to verify the claims. After verification, within 2 days, you have to constitute committee of creditors. What is committee of creditors? A financial creditor, even though a single financial creditor who is going to submit the claim, then that financial creditor will form part of the COC. We call the constitution of committee of creditors as COC. Okay. The financial creditor should be an unrelated party. If he is a related party, he is not eligible to form part of the COC, even though his claim is admitted. He is not allowed to sit inside the COC meeting, take a decision in this respect, because they have been prohibited for representation, for participation, for voting rights. Okay, there is no financial creditor, only operational creditors, no problem. 18 operational creditors, highest in value, will be admitted, plus 1 workman, plus 1 employee, put together 20 members forms part of the committee of creditors. There is no 18, only 10 people have given. Yes, all the 10 will become the committee of creditors along with 1 workman, 1 employee. See, it is basically every nook and corner IBC has been covered. And the moment you are going to constitute the committee of creditors, within 7 days, your first COC should be certainly conducted. Again, I'll tell you, the first COC is where you are going to have problem, because in the first COC, the IRP may become RP. In the first COC, the IRP may become RP, or the committee of creditors may bring new resolution professional. This is what 60 to 70% of the people will have a problem, because most of the banks, they are now encouraging empanelment. and they want to bring somebody from their empanelment, which is, as far as I am concerned, which is not right in the law, but this is what is, in fact, they are supposed to do. Point number one. And the moment RP is going to be appointed, he has to do rest of the jobs, which I will tell you. Now let's go back. If you see that, okay, I said 14 days, which is inclusive of 3 days. Okay, 14 days plus 7 days verification plus 2 days for constitution of committee of creditors plus another 7 days for conducting, put together the first COC. The total life of the interim resolution professional, that's why it's called interim resolution professional, is only 30 days. That is why it's called as an interim resolution professional. I said 180 days is the job. The first 30 days is going to do that. The next 150 days is every day there is a job which you are supposed to do that. Since the same IRP he can do, continue to do that, or new IRP, the court has to appoint the new IRP. Okay, till such time, the present IRP has to do the job. He cannot escape from not doing the job. So now what happens is, there is a time 30 to 40 days. Basically, during this time, new IRP is appointed, or the existing IRP will continue to become a RP. And if he is continuing to become a RP, not less than 7 days, subject to the maximum of 47 days, he has to appoint a registered valuers. There are 3 kinds of a registered valuers. One for plant and machinery, one for land and building, one is for securities or financial asset. And as a chartered accountant, you can clear this valuation examination and you can enroll yourself as a security or financial assets. Again, there is a scope here. Okay, so now the 40 days period is over. We have appointed another person for registered values, because they have to find out the latest liquidation value or fair value of the asset, which is their duty. Now, having done this, how do I am going to proceed? Okay, I am not in a position to proceed because I have to do other jobs. What are the other jobs I'm supposed to do? It? Number one, the date I'm appointed. Okay, I'm going to call it as a insolvency commencement date within 75 days. Okay, there is no resolution coming in. The resolution professional should make an invitation for resolution plan. He has to issue a expression of interest on or before the 75th day, asking the public, anybody is interested to take over the particular company. And there should be a 15 days time for submission of interest. On this submission of interest, these people are called resolution applicants. And next 10 days, I know it's going to be a little bit difficult, but this is how you are supposed to read the process to understand it. Once you understand, forget about the days. First time, if you are going to read it, the days will be confusing. But as an auditor, step 1, step 2, step 3, you always used to ask how many days, within how many, what is that you are supposed to do, what is the end result. Okay, we have been tuned to question others. First, we understand the policy, and on the policy, adherence of the policy, adherence of the rules, adherence of the regulations, we always used to ask them a question and we form an opinion. Same way here, this resolution applicant who have come, we are just going to select, see whether they are coming under a proper network, whatever you have been given, and we will select a prospective resolution applicant within 10 days. Okay, so now you look into it. 75 plus 90 plus 10. You are past 100 days. How many days you are left with? Balance 80 days. Okay, now you are selecting a PRA, which is nothing but a prospective resolution applicant. And the moment you are selecting a prospective resolution applicant, there is always possibility within 5 days, any kind of a objection can be done among. Say there are 5 prospective resolution applicant. As an IRP, I do not know 100% of the other person. There could be a chance that somebody would have known about it. So they will raise an objection before resolution professional asking him, this particular person is ineligible. How did you admit? So there is a possibility that there is an objection and there will be a final list after 10 days. Okay, now there is a question. There is a claim. I'm supposed to come file within 70 days. As a creditor, I missed out. As my client missed out, am I have the eligibility to file it? Yes. Till 90 days from the insolvency commencement date, claims can be certainly filed by the creditor. It has to be admitted. Anything beyond 90 days, there is no right for the resolution professional to admit. He has to reject. The claimant can file an application before NCLT and he has to explain why there was a delay. And if the no resolution plan has come, 60 to 70%, the courts are making the claimant to form part of the list of creditors. Okay, but the maximum days allowed is 90 days. Okay, and the next 5 days, it is the duty of the RP to give an information memorandum, RFRP, and also evaluation matrix to the resolution applicant. Okay. Now the question is, I'm giving so much of troubled words, nothing to worry. Information memorandum is nothing but it is a backbone of the company. You are going to give what are their financials for the last audited financial for the last 2 years. What is the provisional balance sheet for the current year? What is the assets and liabilities as on the insolvency commencement date? Who are the list of creditors whose claims were admitted by the RP? And also, who are the people whose claim is expected, which is contingency? And also, it contains litigations of the company. It also contains the guarantee given by the company. And also it contains related party transactions. Always remember the related party transactions are very, very important. Related party transactions, as per section 277 and 276 and 77 of the Companies Act is totally different from 5 subsection 24 and 5 subsection 24A of IBC. In Companies Act, if you look into the balance sheet signed by the auditor, annual report, you will be able to see who are the related party. But in IBC, under the sun, on the year, 19% all relatives of the spouse and the person has been brought in. So any transaction done by any of the relative, you have to find it out, you have to bring it under, and you should educate the resolution applicant. These are the related party who has done a transaction with this particular corporate data. Okay, and these kind of things are standard format, mandatory format given in the IBC. You have to collect and collate and prepare the information memorandum. What is RFRP? Request for resolution plan. The resolution applicant, we are giving him some forms, like he has to give us some undertaking, he has to give some declaration, he has to give some affidavit, he has to give lot of things XYZ in this respect. And these things, how he is supposed to give is the format given in request for resolution plan. What is the evaluation matrix? Evaluation matrix is very important area where we are going to give points for qualitative and quantitative terms. Say for example, a quantitative term is nothing but the resolution applicant, how upfront the amount is going to come, how long he is going to settle all the creditors, how he is going to do the entire this thing. That has got a weightage. At each point, they will give the mark. And there are 4 applicants, out of which one gets the absolutely a very good excellent mark will be selected. Okay, that is what is evaluation matrix. All these things we are sharing with the resolution applicant. It is the duty of the resolution applicant should prepare within 30 days. That 30 days, no disturbance. He has to give the resolution plan to the RP. RP in return will check and present it to COC. COC is nothing but committee of creditors. Then, okay. So basically, if you look into it, here we have covered up to 90 plus than 100 days. Okay. And today, starting with 100, 105, 110, 120, we are giving 30 days. On 150th day, the resolution applicant has to give the form. Okay, and this will be deliberated with the COC, like, can you increase the rate? Can you do something of that sort? They will be asking you, and it is the duty. The COC should accept or reject the plan. If it is accepting the plan, it is the duty of the RP to present the plan to AA, and AA, after his satisfactions are always subjective. He can approve or reject the resolution plan. But the AA cannot comment on the commercial wisdom of the COC. It is the duty of the COC to see that whether the plan is feasible, whether the plan is viable, whether it addresses cause of default, it addresses various things. It is the duty of them to figure it out and find it out. This is very, very important. Now, this is not only the job, it is also part of the job that RP from the ICAI date, within 75 days, he has to form an opinion on avoidance transaction. Avoidance transaction, I told you, preference transaction, we call it as a PUF transaction. Preference, undervalued, fraud, extortionate. Nothing. Preference is that there are 10 creditors, but I give preference to one creditor, and that creditor, because I've given in a preference, his position is benefited, and that particular creditor has got an antecedent debt. I give a preference, and because of it, his position is changed, then that creditor, we have to get back the money, bring it to the kitty of the CD. Undervalue transaction is nothing but gift. Okay, or I'm selling an asset which is significantly less than the market value. That's called an undervalue transaction. For example, the car is purchased by the company. Okay. And installments are paid by the company, but car generally is in the name, not in the name of the company, but it is in the name of the director or director's son, something of that sort. Then that will come under the undervalue transaction. Extortionate transaction, nothing but exorbitant interest. In Tamil Nadu, if you look into it, they will call it as a kanduvatti, which means it is not a normal interest, it is a exorbitant interest you pay to the funder. So that kind of anything about 24% generally will be treated as an exorbitant interest. In those cases, you can file an application and make it as as per the adjudicating authority ideas, this rate will be reduced and accordingly you will do everything. So this is an important area. Fraudulent transaction. Fraudulent transaction is nothing but the director or any employee of the company who is purposely have defrauded the creditors. Then it will come under fraudulent transaction. See, preferential transaction, undervalued transaction, if you look into it, they differentiated related party transaction, then I can go back 2 years backwards. It's called look back period. from the date of CIRP, I can go 2 years back and see the transaction. If it is an unrelated party, 1 year. In the case of exorbitant transaction, you can go back to two years. For the fraudulent transaction, no such thing. You can go back as many years as you want and see that what exactly happened. That is the facility is allowed. The 75 days, he has to form an opinion. And another on or before 115th day, he has to determine what is the total value of this avoidance transaction. And on or before 130th day, he has to file it with EAA and ensure that he has to get back the funds from the promoter who has siphoned the funds. Friends, if you look into it, you start with the day 1, your days are going to be ended at 180. All the days you are going to certainly have jobs. And you are going to do it systematically as per the time schedule given, especially in this respect. Any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. So I know I have gone fast, but if there is any doubt, you can ask me, especially in this respect. No issue. No doubts. Very good. Now let's go to the second step. There is no resolution plan has come. You have waited, you have issued, no resolution plan has come. What will you do? I will automatically, it goes into liquidation. Before that, I will give you certain idea. What is the time period? I said 180 days. Is it sacrosanct? No. You can go up to another 90 days with the COC voting rate of 66%, and this can be done only once. You cannot multiply it. Subject to the maximum of 330 days. Okay. Why 330 days? It is like this. Due to Corona, 2020, 2021, they are almost completely affected. Nobody was able to do anything. So the balance 60 days or whatever this thing, you should have gone some kind of a problem, and that problem could be a legal one or kind of anything, because this there is a notification from the Supreme Court, Siomoto notification. They have automatically excluded more than 2 years period because of the Corona, and it has got its own implication. So, but today everything is controlled. Only 90 days is allowed. That is 270 days is allowed. But you can go up to 330 days if there is any legal litigation against you and you are also participating and your process is hindered on that. You are allowed to do that. Now, 330 days is already over. Okay, so already 330 days is over. There is no resolution plan. You are unable to do anything. What is the next level? The next level is it automatically goes into liquidation. What is liquidation? You are going to sell the company either as a going concern or as a slump sale, and various varieties are there, how you can sell it. So technically, you are collecting the money and distributing to various people. How will you distribute? This is an interesting area. This is coming under section 53, which is a very important section. Section 53 says the first eligible person is me. That is the resolution professional cost and people appointed by resolution professional. Whatever the money, I'm going to collect it. This is called CIRP cost. first cost receivable is our cost. This is very, very interesting. So we are going to get back our money. Followed by secured creditors plus workmen, okay, which is for 24 months is restricted. Any workman who has worked in the company 2 years preceding the liquidation commencement date, he is eligible. Third is employees. They are restricted with only 12 months. Fourth one, unsecured financial creditor. Fifth one is basically government restricted with only 2 years, plus there is a secured creditor who informs the CD or rather liquidator, I am not interested to give you my asset. I want to realize by myself and I will go under SIRC. Then you don't have a rights to bring that particular asset into liquidation state. So what happens is there is one particular secured creditor who is not interested to give that particular money to you, particular asset to you. So there could be a chances he would have thought his asset will fetch. So he has given a 50 crores and that asset fetched him only 30 crores. The balance 20 crores amount, he will come here along with the secured government for unsecured portion of the secured creditors. He stands in the fifth line. The next is other creditors. Here, the other creditors, operational creditors will come. Workers whose claim is beyond 24 months will come. Employees whose claim is beyond 12 months will come. Government creditors whose credit is beyond 2 years will come. All the people will come as other creditors. The next person is preferential shareholder, the finally equity shareholder. Now the question is it happening? The answer is the entire amount will be starved with this. There is no question of these people getting anything. Operational creditors under liquidation, they will never get anything. This is the current scenario faced by everyone. It always stops here. Even secured creditors, they would have lent more, but they would receive a very small amount because basically, like most of the cases, if you look into it, the money would have been transferred, or rather, the stock statement, Namki Vaste, if somebody is going to tick okay, or if there is a superfluous or incorrect stock statement, the bank is not verified accordingly, the CC limit is maintained, but at the time of insolvency, they were able to see that it was overstated data statement, overstated stock statement, everything will have a repercussion from the secured creditors here. In one of the cases, actually the bank has valued the land as 10 crores. We have sent our valuer and asked him to find out the value. He said that will never fetch more than 2 crores. Where is the question of that secured creditors going to get 8 crores? Now, this will open up a Pandora box because the person who has done 8 crores initially should give an explanation. Today, the responsibility is fixed across the board. It is not only the liquidator, it is the banker who is also taken into task. He should also give everything. He should also disclose everything. All the people are going to have problem because the assets are at the time of giving the loan, the value of the assets are taken exorbitantly. But once you are going into liquidation or once you are going into CIRP process, it is the duty of the valuer to value it appropriately. They have to value liquidation value as well as fair value. The fair value and liquidation value is nowhere. See the amount of the value the bank has originally done it. My question, are they doing it purposefully? Sometimes, yes, it is purposefully. Sometimes, no. Could be the market fluctuations, but anything significantly, that is, which is old value to the present value, if it is more than 25%, there is always a possibility they have done some kind of a malpractice. So you have to remember that. Okay, so it is the duty of a person who wants to do this particular course has to prepare his own chart for 8 applications, 8 cases. One is CIRT. The next one is called liquidation. The third one is called fast track. Fast track is nothing but, as the name indicates, you have to go very fast. Okay, in CIRT 180 days, in fast track it is only 90 days. You are finishing the process within 90 days. There are only few companies they are eligible to go under fast track. A small company, a startup company, a company where the assets are less than 1 crore can file an application under fast. It will go fast, that's it. The fourth one is pre-packaged insolvency resolution process. This is for MSME. And the fifth one is voluntary liquidation. Voluntary liquidation is not, they are doing it voluntarily. Voluntary liquidation is 2 things. They have to go voluntarily and there should never be a default, which meaning the company which has started for the purpose. See, we have been doing a lot of voluntary liquidation for the simple reason the company has been started to get the RBI license to do the non-banking financial activity. The RBI license is not getting within a period. Locking the funds of 2 crores as a net owned funds is meaningless. So most of the companies, they are coming under voluntary liquidation. In respect of the next process, individuals and partnership, it's called fresh start process. Like your life is going to be freshly start. The next process is called insolvency resolution process. Here, corporate insolvency, individuals, it's an insolvency resolution process. The last one is bankruptcy process. Okay, all this process, any person who wanted to write the examination, prepare your own concept-wise understanding of the each process. I told you in CIRP process, 180 days, how you are going to be involved and do the entire job. Same thing in liquidation. The moment company goes into liquidation, within 5 days, you are supposed to give. See, fundamentally, you have to understand the process. Public announcement. After that, submission of claims. After that, verification of the claims. After verification of claims, either you have to accept or reject the claim. And you have to form the list of creditors. You have to do the other things. You have to go ahead and do it. First thing, it is your duty to find out the commonalities between various processes. This is other way you are saving more of your time. If you want to save your time, pull out the commonalities, keep it separately. Say for example, you want to conduct a meeting. So any case meeting goes with notice. Okay, how the notice should be issued. Notice should go with how to conduct. How to conduct, you have to first find out what is the quorum, whether the quorum is present. Then you should see that what is the voting right, whether the particular resolution can be put before the members, whether the particular quorum is present to pass it. Then you have to write the minutes and close the entire process. This is common for every area. It could be 7 days, it could be 5 days, it could be 3 days, it could be like 24 hours, 48 hours. There are so many things available in this area. Accordingly, you have to plan and you have to move forward. Again, how many days you are being given? How do I remember? You are the sample for me. If you understand the process, ask a question. How do I do that? There is a solution place. If nobody is supposed to do that, is another question. Answer that question. Okay. What is the purpose of submission of claims? You are going to identify whether the claimant is going to be admitted as a creditor or not. How will you admit? You are going to verify the books of accounts of the company. It is already with you. The claim sent by that particular form. You are just going to scrutinize, and it is the duty. This cannot be delegated to any other person. This has to be done by the insolvency professional. You are going to do it accordingly. Got it? So every area, if you are going to look into it, you have got certain job, which is a designated job for you, and you are supposed to do it. As a whole, if you look into it, okay, what are opportunities? The first opportunity, you can be an advisor. Second opportunity, you can present. Third, you can be a IRP, RP, or liquidator, or you can become insolvency and resolution process, that is individuals and partnership. You can become a resolution professional or bankruptcy trustee. These are the jobs with the lot of responsibilities, lot of risk is continuously there. Okay, then you can become a transaction auditor, which means you are just going to verify the transaction in respect of the preferential undervalue. Then you can also become the forensic auditor. You can also become the registered valuable. See, the opportunities are now there in the market. How you are going to use the opportunity and educate yourself is with you. When you started your own practice, you have opened up an office with no clients. Slowly, people used to come and see. You should have the patience. Moment I clear, people will come to you. Please don't think. First, see, when we did bank audit during 2017-16, the first thing we have identified is who are going to become our clients. Still, it is there. Okay, this man is going under default. Okay, he can become our client. Kind of, we always used to know during that time. We always used to find out who are going to become our clients, whom we can advise, where we can send notices, everything. But after some time, because of your experience and exposure, people will come to you. And you yourself can do an advice. And you can also be an advisor to the resolution and applicant. Basically, there is no responsibility, but you can have decent money in this position. Whereas all these solutions are a lot of responsibilities. You have to adhere to typing, you have to adhere to the code, you have to educate yourself more, but anyway, education is a must. Okay, the second super opening is forensic audit. Do you require a special qualification? Yes. Basically, there should be an aptitude for you to learn. There is an aptitude for learn. This is a very good area. But is it necessary? I don't have a 10 years of experience. I have only 4 years of still. All this job, any Tom, Dick, and Harry who's a qualified person can do that. But a person who is, say, for example, got a 10 years of experience, you become so that the advising somebody is easy. You can understand the law, you can educate your own friends, because always advisors are there wherein you can advise. Okay, so this is one of the big chapter and a very upcoming superb area of professional opening. But within 2 hours, you cannot explain an entire 255 sections, even though it is possible. If I'm going to explain to you, 2 things will happen. 1, you run away. 2, difficult to digest in a very short span unless until you have read all these things already. But with the limited time, I decided I should educate you. Whatever I know, I've given you a brief on this. So now the time is almost 6:54, and I want, if there are any questions from any person, please feel free to ask me or send me the chat. I don't have a problem to answer you. But my suggestion is getting the additional degree is excellent. Whether you want to pursue or not pursue is your choice. Say, for example, today there is something called social audit has come. Some of the people are asking whether there is a scope in the social audit. My answer is yes, scope. Definitely, because non-profit organization will certainly ask you for fundraising. CSR funds will come to the social enterprise. So you are eligible to do that. Okay. Sir, there is one person who has thumbs up. Please allow him to. You can ask your question, sir. I think you are one. Unmute and ask the question. You have been muted now. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Mr. Perumal? Yes,
hello. Ma'am, what are the conceptual difference between fresh start process and insolvency resolution process for individuals?
Okay, sir. Fresh start process is like a fresh. It says qualifying debts. They define what is a qualifying debt. And the eligibility condition for the fresh start process is very, very simple. Annual gross turnover should not exceed 60,000 rupees. The asset should not exceed 20,000 rupees. Qualifying asset should not exceed 35,000 rupees. He should not possess any dwelling unit, or he should not subsisting on insolvency resolution process or bankruptcy process, and he should not be in the fresh start process. This is what it says. Whereas here in fresh start process, your debts discharge are going to be the qualifying debts. Whereas in the case of insolvency resolution process, you are going to prepare a plan which is called as a repayment plan. On the repayment plan, whatever you are going to do that, whatever the assets or whatever the plan you are going to do that, those things will be discharged. This is the fundamental. Here the eligibility criteria is defined. Person who are not fulfilling the eligibility criteria should automatically file in insolvency resolution process. There, the minimum amount is defined as on date is 1,000 rupees. This can be increased to 1 lakh of rupees by the central government. This is the difference.
Thank you, ma'am. And in this fresh start process eligibility, you're saying annual turnover of 60,000 and assets 35,000, 20,000 and all. Practically in the present condition.
No. Sir, I will tell you, there are lot of cow loan, which is something like 25,000 rupees. Okay. And hen loan. Tamil சொல்லணும்னா the கோழி loan, வாத்து loan எல்லாம் கொடுக்குறா இல்லையா?
Yes, ma'am.
அதெல்லாம் clean up பண்றதுக்கு பண்ற process.
Okay.
But it is really upset because you should not also have a no dwelling unit. I mean,
Yes.
that means you should not own a house. Asset should not be more than 20,000 rupees. I do not know. Any person currently having asset more than 20,000 rupees, his gross turnover should not exceed 60,000 rupees. I really do not know from where the government has come out with these kind of ideas. But my understanding is like that, this Mutra loan.
Yes.
It is less than 35,000 rupees. They want to clean up the balance sheet. They are going to allot one particular branch or 5 branches wherein all these loans will be allotted to an insolvency professional, which will be something like 20-25 cases. Each case, say 5,000 rupees, you are going to have a considerable amount and you can come out. This is what is my understanding. But if you are going to ask me, how stupid, I agree with you, but this is government.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. If there is any question, please ask me. Otherwise, thank you very much for giving a wonderful opportunity. I think with the limited time, whatever I know, I have shared with you. And I wish you very, very good luck. There is a good opening, especially in this team, in this particular process. And you can contact me anytime, which is my number is 99400-24178. My mail ID is anitaca@gmail.com. You can contact me if you have any doubts, if you want to write the examination or require any kind of a suggestion on this IBC. I am interested to explain to you, because if I can do, if I can clear, any person can clear. This is my motto, and nobody is other person's competitor. I may take help from you, you may take help from me. That kind of attitude is always possible here. And this particular concept, I can tell you, கூடி வாழ்ந்தால் கோடி நன்மை. நானும் நன்னா இருக்கணும், அடுத்தவாளும் நன்னா இருக்கணும்ன்ற ஒரு concept is good. Second, as a chartered accountant, say, if you are going to revive a company, the happiness you are going to have is something phenomenally good. But if you are going to ask me how many companies you have revived, initially or the first 3 years, whatever the company has filed, all are dead companies. Revival is impossible. Today, lot of revival is possible, but people are taking advantage of the situation that is always there. That is always there, which you are supposed to go ahead and do that. Okay. So with this, thank you very much for the institute. Thank you very much for the participants. for giving this wonderful opportunity. Hope I have not disappointed you. If there is any question, you can contact me separately. You can send me a mail. I wish you very, very good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time. Shall I end the session, ma'am?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome.